What's good, family? This is your boy Devontae Lamont, and I am here to share with you my new frames from S2Ep2 glasses. I freaking love these frames. Oh my God, like you see that little black lining? Like they are just so clear, but they still got a little funky pizzazz. Wear them to the park, you can wear them at work and still look good and look fly. And I love it because a lot of times you see like clear frames, but you never see a clear frame with like a black lining. You can have a ball at S2Ep2. They have glasses for all shapes, sizes of your face. I mean, they got everything that you need. They have an amazing style collection too. These are the Lilith frames. You can go to S2Ep2.com and get these frames for 15% off with the promo code Enjoy the Journey. So make sure you get them Lilith frames at S2Ep2, all right? Love y'all. What's good, family, and welcome to Enjoy the Journey. I am your host, Devontae Lamont, and today I have with me Gary Swindell Jr. He is a worship leader, a worship pastor. He is a mentor. He is a writer, a producer, and one who is taking the worship community by force. So today, welcome, Mr. Gary Swindell Jr. How are you?
I'm doing great, Devontae. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here.
Yes,
Thank you
sir.
so much. So we were talking earlier, you said you were from Savannah, Georgia.
Savannah, Georgia, born and
Wow.
raised. Yeah,
So what was it like growing up in Savannah?
best thing ever. So I tell people Savannah is the perfect mixture of traditional and progressive
Wow.
from the time I was born. So I love it. It gives you some New Orleans, but it still gives you, you know, some down low
love
country.
that.
It's amazing. I love it.
Now, Savannah, do y'all have good shrimp and grits?
We have the best shrimp and grits. I'm telling you, it's the best.
Listen, they say Charleston, South Carolina has the best.
That's our sister city, but they got it from us. They're
Okay.
gonna fight me for that. But
Right,
they got it
right.
from us.
Speaking of Savannah, I've always wanted to go. What is it like going like to Tybee? That's the beach down there, right?
So we got two beaches. We got Tybee Island and then we got Hilton Head Island, but they're the most beautiful places ever. You would love them. It's beautiful. It never gets too hot, too cold.
Wow.
I can go there today and it's still gonna be good.
Wow, I
Yeah.
love that. So Savannah, Georgia. So you're from Savannah. When did you find your gift or know that you were called to be a worship leader?
Ooh, well, I didn't start worship leading until I was 14.
Wow.
I really wanted to be like a lawyer or something,
Whoa.
but my father was the worship leader at our church. He was a minister of music for years up until he passed in 2020. And so he got me started into singing, and he's actually in the Savannah Gospel Hall of Fame, an amazing singer. And so I was just serving on the usher board as a kid, and then my dad was like, "No, we're gonna put you on."
Come on,
this
did you
worship
have
team."
the white shirt with the black
did.
side?
Devontae, I took it so seriously. I used to tell the preachers, "Spit that gum out.
Spit the gum out."
Come on."
I love that. So grew up in the church. Did you have any musical influences? Like who are some people who inspired you musically?
Now, I'm going to be honest. Even though I grew up in the church, my father had a jazz background. He was also classically trained. He was also, both my parents are stage actors. So when I say I had an array of just musical influences from Stevie Wonder to Ella Fitzgerald to just Roger Hammerstein, like all these different people, like these are my influences. But then even to the church, the Fred Hammonds, you know, the Karen Clark. So I had a mixture of everybody.
That is so amazing. That is so amazing. So one thing about Gary Swindell Jr., he is one of the most prolific worship leaders of our time. If you've never heard him lead worship people, you need to look him up, follow him, and get into it. One thing that I love about you is you have such a keen spirit of setting the atmosphere and shifting atmospheres. What is it, or what piece of advice would you have to a worship leader who maybe is struggling in that area to connect with maybe the congregation, or maybe struggling to find their niche in their church or in their worship sphere? What advice would you give to them?
You have to do it at home. You have the truth is, I can quote unquote change atmospheres because my day-to-day life is filled with different atmospheres. My day-to-day life is up and down, you know, just having that regular life. So because I'm a worshiper at home first, then I'm able to shift that at home. And so then when I get in front of people, you know, like the Bible says, don't be afraid of men in their faces, because it's just a bigger setting of what you deal with at home.
Yeah.
So because I do it at home, if I'm dealing with a depressed day, I'm going to worship the same way and shift that for myself. And so I tell worship leaders all the time, start it at home, not just in prayer, but actually sing. I sing prophetically to myself, all that kind of stuff. And so when I get in front of people, it becomes second nature.
So would you then go to say that worship is then a lifestyle?
It has to be.
Yeah.
I tell people it has to be a lifestyle. It's what changed me. It's how we honor the Lord. You know, I tell people it's not just a slow song. It is our lifestyle of honoring the Lord. And so when I'm mopping the floor, it's worship to me. You know, when I'm cooking and I'm singing to the Lord, that's worship to me. And I think we have to bring that reality to worship leaders again. That it's more than just singing. It's in everything I do.
Now, I think that's very key that you just said, because you are a worship mentor.
Yeah.
And you have a mentorship program called Mandate. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so Mandate Mentorship, I'm super excited about it because we put it on hold for like 3 years.
Okay.
And I used to, before the pandemic, I would travel to churches and kind of help them with their worship teams, and the pandemic totally stopped that. Then I went into the album, so I still couldn't do it. And recently, Barbara Calloway, prophetess Barbara Calloway, we were in a service in Brunswick, Georgia, and she prophesied and she said, Gary, you got to go back and start teaching again. And so I said, cool, we picked it back up. And so Mandate Mentorship is basically every quarter, I'm taking about 10 to 11 worship leaders, and just one-on-one, me and them, we're working on it. We're talking about how they're able to lead worship at their church, how they're able to lead. See, a lot of people think it's just about leading songs, but I believe as a worship leader, you're discipling the people on your team.
My God,
that's where mine is a little different. Brother. And I told them, I said, I want to do one-on-one, and I'm not hating on everybody else, but I know a lot of times the mentorships I've been a part of, it's like this Zoom with one person and like 50 other people.
Yeah.
And so it becomes generalized.
Yeah.
And so when I prayed about it, I said, I know it'll be different. You know, I know, you know, I'm not going to charge as much, but I need it to be one-on-one so people can know how that builds for them.
I think that is so important, because when you are a worship leader or artist or anything of that nature, I believe that it's important that you have a trusted voice that can pour into you and show you the way.
Yes.
And I think, you know, I've seen a lot of programs or leaders or artists that have mentorship programs, but like you said, you're sitting there with 50 to 100 other people, and so it's just another class. But I think that individualism really speaks to people where they're able to get into the nitty gritty of what they need.
Yes.
So outside of Mandate, you also have ASAP.
Yes.
Okay, could you tell us more about ASAP?
So ASAP is pretty much the church version.
Nice.
So where Mandate, I deal one-on-one with the worship leaders. ASAP, I'm going in and talking to the whole team. And we're literally breaking down not only the vision of your church, but the vision of the worship team based on the vision of the church. And we're talking about how we're all, so I tell people, I don't believe in background singers on the worship team. We're all worship leaders. And so we kind of talk about how that works. We go through song lists, we go through everything from song lists to how do you stand on stage, and we really start to build the culture for that church, from Baptist to Methodist. However, I'm not looking to make everybody Maverick, or I'm not looking to make everybody a Baptist song. We're going to see what God has for this church.
Ooh, yeah, that is so good. So how do you know if you are meant to be a local worship leader or a gospel artist?
I love that question.
Because that's the thing, you know, sometimes I've been guilty, I must be honest, where I thought that my path was in being a gospel artist, as I was for 5 years, but God shifted it and told me what my assignment was, and that was hard for me to accept. So how do you know from the get-go?
Yeah, so it's a few things. I think people don't have to be afraid of the trial and error. I think people also don't have to be afraid of the lessons they learn along the way. But I think local people, you have a heart. You really have a heart for your city. Now, I'm going to say something, and I hope I don't get in trouble. I think while every local worship leader is not a gospel artist, I think every gospel artist should do something locally.
I agree.
And so For gospel artists, I think you start off local and God expands you there. And so if you see God expanding your voice, your demand, your wisdom to another place, I think that's one of the biggest signs. If nobody, I'm gonna be honest, if nobody's calling on you, then maybe you need to stay local. Or if nobody's seeking you out to expand your voice, expand your net, then it's okay to stay local. And I've been telling people, the local worship leaders are just as important. We need local worship leaders. The other thing I say is, if you're not a business-minded person, you're not supposed to be a gospel artist. That's a part of your ministry.
So good.
It's a part of your ministry.
That's so good. I love that. So oh God, this is so good to me. So I'm telling you, I'm just overwhelmed because I see your heart, I see your passion, and I can tell that you live this and breathe this. Not only are you a worship leader and worship pastor, but God has given you a double gift to be able to be a recording artist as well. And my first introduction to you was the Live on Whitaker Street album.
Yes.
Oh my God. That album literally, when I heard it, shifted my entire trajectory.
Wow.
I think I told you a little earlier, I did a worship experience concert here in Atlanta. And the first song that we opened up with was a Manifestation Chant.
Wow.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Where did that song come from?
So I tell people right now, even though it's, doing great, that song this day is 9 years old.
Wow.
That song this day is 9 years old, and it wasn't going to be on the album.
Wow.
It wasn't going to be on the album.
That song is a banger.
So that is the only song on the album without a click track. Wow. We just went for it. So even though we have so many different, and I tell people there's so many different genres on the album for gospel, but I said, I need a song where it's just me going, just me being me, not being bound by anything. And they said, okay, well, what can we do then? I said, I got the perfect song, and it was Manifestation Chant. We got it in a service. Wow. We were just in a service one day, and they were preaching on a woman with the issue of blood. And they said, Gary, can you come and sing during altar call? And 9 years ago, that's where it happened. And I started seeing it work in my local assembly. And then Savannah started singing it. And then when it was time for the album, I said, I just need that one song where y'all let me be me. And that's where it came from.
That is so powerful.
Yeah.
So Live on Whitaker Street was number 3 and number 25 on iTunes. How did that feel to see that when the album was released, it was already hitting Billboard charts? That's dope.
It shocked me. It really shocked me because, Savannah is still considered a small market. Even though a lot of great people come from there, people like Molly Music, so many people come. Yeah,
I did not know.
Molly Music is from right there in Savannah, Georgia.
Wow.
So we have so many great people that come from, but it's still considered a small market, and it's still considered a place where they think you have to leave in order to make it big. And so to see it drop at number 3 on gospel on iTunes, number 25, when I looked on there and saw me ahead of Taylor Swift, I said, wait a minute.
We don't make the Swifties mad now.
I tell people, I was just happy to even be there with her.
Praise God.
I said, man, people are really being blessed by it. And from there, it's continued to grow. People have started recording. My brother right here in Atlanta, Enrique Holmes, just re-recorded Manifestation Chant, and he's taking it to even another level. So I'm just blessed. People are blessed by the music.
That is phenomenal. What is it? Because when you minister, there's such a depth in your voice that I feel that it comes from a place of experience.
Yeah.
What obstacles or what hardships, what is it that brought you to a place where you're able to deliver whatever God gives you with such power and clarity? Was there anything that you overcame? Was it just skill? Like, where does that power and strength come from within you?
Wow. So for me, even growing up, I'm an introvert by nature. People see me on stage, but I'm probably usually quiet until maybe 3, 4 o'clock in the day. So I was an introvert by nature. I believe God wanted to use me at a young age, and for people who God wants to use at a young age, a lot of times we deal with depression. I started trying to run away from home at a very early age. And believe it or not, at 14 years old, a man, he's going on to be with the Lord by the name of Dr. Miles Monroe. He came to Savannah. It was his only time coming to Savannah in all of his years. And he came to Savannah. He did a 3-night revival. Thousands of people in there. On the last night of the revival, he called a 14-year-old boy out me and just said, "Come here." And he prayed for me. He put his jacket on me and said a double portion of his anointing was going to be on me. And I tell people from that day forth, I not only did I understand the Bible, but the Lord began to really speak to me from 14 and up until now. So that's really where a lot of my passion came from, that I saw the Lord literally change me overnight. Now, I wasn't perfect.
Right.
You know, I still did a lot of crazy things, but to feel the power of the Lord when I wasn't asking for it.
Woo.
That's the thing. I was really trying to run away from the Lord, and the Lord really, it was almost like an Abraham experience where Abraham doesn't know God, and God's like, "Man, I'm gonna talk to you anyway." And I think there's so many people that are trying to ignore the voice of God, and he's like, "But I'm still going to keep pulling on you and keep trying you." And so this kid who was trying to run away from home, God literally stopped this man, this great preacher, in his tracks and said, "Now you minister to this 14-year-old boy, because it's going to change his whole life forever." And so that's really where the passion came for me, because later on, about 3 months later, I started preaching for the first time. So, you know, I tell people, not only do I worship lead, but I've been preaching for 23 years.
Wow.
Because of that moment, it changed my life.
That is incredible. Dr. Miles Monroe is one of the nation's greatest, most powerful, most anointed teachers, preachers of his day, and he's greatly missed. So do you feel that maybe the gift that you have to preach and to worship lead, do they kind of coincide a little bit?
They really do.
Wow.
They really do.
How so?
Because so the way I look at the word kind of slips into the worship leading. I really believe in having the word come through more than anything else, more than the melody. I love the melody. I'm a melodic person, but I love how the word comes through and have those beautiful perspectives of the word. So because I do preach, I'd actually tell people I'd rather preach than sing.
I love that.
But I love to mix them together and kind of see the expressions of the Lord. I believe we are expressions of the Lord. You know, the Lord decided to express himself in a certain way, and he called it Devante. And if you're not who you are, the world will miss that part of God's expression. And so that's all purpose is. It's the expression of God made in you. And so that's why everything I do, I try to make sure I move in purpose, or the world will miss an expression of God they wouldn't have gotten if I wasn't true and authentic to myself.
Ooh, authenticity. I think one of the things that are, especially this generation, that they rely on is being authentic. How, and because we talked about you being a mentor, how important is it for you as Gary to be authentic with your mentees? Because one thing that I've noticed that a lot of times people like to hide parts from themselves, and there are people that are craving the knowledge and the wisdom that you have. And I feel like sometimes if we hold that, we almost miss a life-changing moment to the mentee. So how important is authenticity when it comes to you mentoring?
Well, even before I go there, I want to tell people that people think authenticity is just the weird side of you. I tell people you can't be truly authentic until you're healthy.
What do you mean by that?
Because the healthiest side of me allows me to express correctly. A lot of times what we call authenticity is unhealed trauma that looks weird and people can't understand it. But a healthy authenticity is me being right mind, body, soul. And as I express it, people can actually enjoy it. So a lot of people aren't even enjoying our authenticity because we're not healthy. And so when I mentor people, I try to be the healthiest me that I can be when I talk to people. You know, I try to make sure that the books I'm reading, the people that I talk to, the wisdom that I get is healthy, because we're so big on telling our stories, but even when we tell our stories, it's still not healthy. You can still trauma bond trying to be vulnerable. And so I have learned, even in my speaking to people, let's be as healthy as possible. So they don't hear my story and trauma bond, they hear my story as a testimony. I love that, because that's what even Enjoy the Journey is about. What is something about you that nobody knows? I played the saxophone for 15 years.
For real?
Yeah.
The saxophone? First off, that's my favorite instrument.
Really?
So, like, can you play like a little jazz?
Yes. I was in the jazz band. The school I went to, in Savannah called Savannah Arts Academy. We had a jazz band. We even toured for 2 weeks in China, played
Wow.
in front of thousands of people. So yeah, a
That is so
jazz
dope.
saxophonist.
That's okay. Who's your favorite jazz artist?
Probably Ella.
Ella Fitzgerald.
Probably Ella. Easily.
She's just amazing. Like
Easily.
I love Ella.
Yes.
I love oh my God, what's Miles
Miles Davis.
Miles Davis.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Like I grew up listening to Miles. I'm like, I just love him. So, okay, so you play the saxophone.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there an instrument that you don't play that you wish you could play?
Okay, this is twofold. So I tell people I really wish I could play the piano better.
Okay.
I'm gonna say
I
that.
really feel like you can play the keyboard.
I tell people I can play you through a worship set.
Yeah.
But like actually play, I tell people my dad started me too late. He started me really kind of in my teens. By that time, I was so rebellious that I was not going to play. I wish I would have started around like 7 or 8, and then I know I would have kept going. But if any other instrument, I was so jealous of trumpet players.
Oh,
they got all the girls.
They did. They still do.
That made me very upset.
Oh, they still do.
So I wish I played that one.
My God. We gonna switch. We gonna shift right there. So, all right. Here's another one. Okay.
Okay.
If you could travel anywhere in the world, where would you like to travel to?
I have not been to Jerusalem yet, and that is my heart to go.
Yeah.
I tell people all the time, if I go, I got to make sure I go by myself because I'm going to be so embarrassed around my family because I'm going to be crying. The moment they show me that tomb,
you'll go in, brother.
So I'd rather go. But then I was like, if I go by myself, then the people going to be like, who is this guy?
Who's this crazy man?
Whoever I go with is going to be very embarrassed.
I love it.
But I want to go to Jerusalem.
You going, man of God?
Within the next year, I'm trying to go.
Oh, you going?
Yes.
Listen, and y'all, when he go to Jerusalem, y'all better be all in the comments like, we knew it. That was a prophetic word. No, I'm playing. I was playing. Okay, what's another one? This one's so random, and it's probably because I'm hungry.
Okay.
What is your favorite meal of all times? Your favorite meal? If you could come home to a home-cooked meal, what would that meal be?
Spaghetti.
Really?
Spaghetti. It's probably because it was the first dinner I learned how to cook.
Okay.
So my grandparents lived with us.
Wow.
And my grandmother used to be a school cook for like one of the elementary schools.
Yeah.
And so she started teaching me how to cook probably around 7 years old.
Wow.
And so the first dinner I really learned how to cook was spaghetti. So it reminds me of her, so I eat it all the time, even though it's a basic dish.
Yeah. Now, do you like baked spaghetti, or is it just like the meat?
Oh, you got to put the meat and the sauce in there and stir it around. We country.
Yes.
We don't bake it.
Come on.
You got to put that in there.
Okay, so I'm from the north, so that's a northern thing.
Okay, so you know what it is? I don't know why we do it, but we don't bake ours. And so I don't really know too many people in Savannah that bake that.
Really?
I don't.
That is so shocking to me. Wow.
We stir that thing in.
Okay, so when you make some spaghetti, you come back to Atlanta. Can I have a bowl?
Yes.
So I can taste your spaghetti.
Yes.
Savannah. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, do you put sugar in your spaghetti?
Heck
Okay.
no.
Whoa, wait.
Are we supposed to?
You have to. It's too. The pasta is the acidity from the pasta is gonna mess up the spaghetti. You got to have just a little bit of sugar to balance it out. Try it.
Okay. To be fair, I don't really cook that much.
Oh.
So to charge it to my unskilledness and not my heart.
Okay.
Charge it to that, brother. I love it. So what's next for Gary Swindell Jr.? What do you have coming up? What are some things that you're looking to accomplish?
So we're still, traveling, preaching, of course, but still traveling, pushing the music. Every time I think maybe the album, okay, it's time to move to something else, God just pushes it back to the forefront. So I'm super excited to still travel, and people are discovering songs on the album that they didn't really know was on there. So it's almost like giving new life to it again. But I'm looking to get back in the studio very soon. Awesome. I'm very close to writing again. We put out a book along with the album called The Languages of Praise. It was a 21-day devotional. It really goes into the different words that we use and how we, even as worship leaders, can use them correctly. That we're not just passing time by saying, Lord, you're worthy, Lord, you're awesome. What do those words really mean, and are we using them in context? Wow. But I'm getting ready to start writing another book on grief because I did lose my father in 2020. So we're going to write another book on grief, and then, just some more things. I'm getting ready to dive back into acting. Both my parents are actors, so I grew up acting. on stage. So I'm getting ready to dive back into acting. That's my goal.
That is amazing. You're
And
like
so-
the ultimate creative.
Oh,
He's like, I'm gonna act, I'm gonna play saxophone, I'm gonna sing, I'm gonna like, what don't you do, man of God?
oh, it's a lot.
I love that. I love that. So could you actually look at the camera?
Yeah.
And if you could give one thought to encourage our audience, what would that be?
My real thought to encourage you is to really learn the Lord. Learn the Lord. A lot of people just know about him, but what I've learned in my time spending with the Lord is he's funny. He has a way of speaking. He has moods. And I think so many people never learn him. When Jesus says, you know, not my will, but your will, it's because he knows him intimately. And so I'm not just trying to get something from him. He is someone to actually love to learn. And so that would be my suggestion to you all. Take some time to really learn him. He says, learn of me. That's when he says, my yoke is easy, my burden is light. There are things that we can learn about the Lord, and that will strengthen our relationship with him.
Wow, that is so powerful.
Yeah.
Gary, thank you so much for coming
Thank
to
you.
enjoy the journey. This was phenomenal. I've enjoyed talking with you, and I am looking forward to hearing so much more from you.
Wow, Devontae, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. All right, family. I appreciate you. Know that this is your time. This is your season. I love you. Peace out.